There we go. Did that post? It did post. Excellent. All right. I'm going to close that, and I need to go back over here. It does not look like... Oh, this is Tuesday. I didn't have a... Okay, never mind. I'm stupid. I forgot something. Alright, there we go. Over here, and I need to move that there. And we're ready to go. So last year I did a really fun color scheme. It was like bright pinks and yellows, kind of like in here, and I even had some of this deeper red, maybe actually this pink in here, but lots of these colors, which is really fun. But I kind of want to... I just want to have some... some interesting... Maybe this will be a framing piece, like a foreground. Let's have this over here. Let's see, something... I'm gonna have Boo here. They'll be floofy ghosts. And then maybe they'll each have a little pumpkin candy. It'd be nice. I could use purples and greens. I could... I do want Gordy to be here too, so maybe I'll put Gordy over here walking with Coco. Searching up some interesting colors that I want to keep in, and you can't see the, well, you can see the top of the swatches I'm looking at, but I'm gonna go in here and make a few more interesting. I want to keep these purples. I really do like them. Aiden, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I think that's enough. That's what I'm thinking about really right now. And let me grab a few of these. Really? Ooh, I like that set right there. That's a good set of colors right there. All right, so I'm going to keep those. Marching pretty close right there on those sets. Doing pretty well, thank you. Just working on I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to marry these two, because I'll have shadows and maybe green light, some bright. I'm not sure how I'm going to figure this out, but I'm going to figure it out. We've got a fun little palette here. I don't have any, ooh, I've got a lot of pumpkins here, but not a lot of oranges, so I'm gonna have to probably do some color math, I guess. Thinking of the setting is going to be at night, so how do those colors display at night? How do they change? What does an orange pumpkin look like at night versus in the day? How can you, probably I'm going to have to desaturate a lot, but I think I can make it work. But first things first is the line art. I guess I can start first with my big foreground pumpkin here. Get my Oh, okay. So select same appearance. I'm grouping that, and then I've got to group everything else because apparently I didn't group everything except that. That should make it easier. Go ahead and put a little shadowing in here. Get cough drops going here. Definitely help. All right, let's see what our fortunes are today. Put a little strut in it. Uh-oh, I've got a rip. That doesn't affect my... Take charge and mean it. You got it in you. Can do into can did. That's one of my favorites. Dust off and get up. Power through. And I can't count that one because it's not complete. And I can't count that one either. That's a good one. A good one. I think I might want to bring, yeah, just that pumpkin over just a smidge. I think I'll keep this part on a separate group. And I'm going to group this one separately too, and then I'll group those together as the foreground, and then I'll work on the midground. Not sure if I want to do this little angle there. Whoop. Gotta get these eyes a little bit better here. Maybe bring my point size down a bit. Bring that down 30%. There we go. Now I can see. So I might extend the canvas a little bit. So I am drawing some extras in here. Hey Sharon, happy Tuesday to you too. Oh, the spoopy things. Now I've got let's group these foreground elements together. So I've got a color palette that I really want to try. I loved last year's color palette, and it was more kind of in this range of really bright pinks, oranges, and yellows. And I kind of struggle to balance the orange and the purple really nicely. So I'm thinking of like a spooky, like this is the main thought here, is like greens and deep purples, and then have some, you know, a little bit of more ambient colors around that. But I kind of want to focus here. And I might have to bring in an orange or two because I've got so many pumpkins here, but I'm trying to focus and push myself on the color, because every time I try this combination, I feel like I don't get it quite right. So I really want to try it and see if I can do this kind of spooky purple and green look. And I'm thinking it might kind of go more towards here. Like I'll have well, it's really kind of all about the balance. If it's mostly in the purples to kind of set the nighttime tone, then this can be, you know, the 30%, 70%, 30%, even though I've marked out this one far more than the others. So we'll see. We'll see if I can do it. Hopefully I can do it. All right. So I've got some giant pumpkins. I've got some little wee pumpkins. I've got my moon over here. And a thing about this one too is I want to make some wallpapers out of it. So I think what I'll do is I might move the moon over here, and so I can have a vertical wallpaper here. Yes, Boo the Ghost right here. And then I'll have a wallpaper here. And then I might move these guys a little bit more behind the hill so I could have a third wallpaper right here. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna have the tree line very lightly back here and sky up here so I can extend it for the HD format easily and not have to draw a bunch of extra stuff. So yeah, right now I've got Boo the Ghost, I've got Gordy, coconut, Momo, and the 2 floofy ghosts, and then of course regular floofs with their pumpkins. So that's what I'm working on, and I think I'm gonna come in here to my foreground area, and I want to just give a little bit more to these guys, because if I have to extend it lower, I will. This guy's kind of smushed into the ground, but then I'm gonna have the kind of, gosh, I'm really extending it down lower, aren't I? I have the kind of the pathway coming along here. And this is stuff that I'm not even gonna fill in because it's not gonna be, well, right now it's not there, but just in case. Just in case. All right, so that's the foreground elements. All right. I'm gonna get a stretch. No, no stretch. She's hiding her face. You know that's no stretch territory. That's you're pressing it. You're lucky I'm even here territory. That's what that is. That one. I'm gonna go ahead and draw this in anyway. Even though I know my floofy ghosts are gonna be covering it, I wanna make sure I've got the Same thing here. I know this ghost is going to be covering it, but I want to just make sure I've got my, just in case I decide to move everybody, I don't have to pause and rethink how I want to draw this. I kind of like that. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to blend that in more because that really doesn't look natural, but I like that. I like that little swoop. So let me just erase this and see how I can draw like a little piece of grass just kind of poofing over here. Big pumpkin will be. Have a few more there. Oh, big stretch! Okay, another pumpkin right here. Something like that. Alright, so I've got my little environment here. Let's do, I know this is again going to be blocked. But there's some areas that will. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but it was like a crack, just like a series of cracks when I did that with my wrist. I think I'm gonna do some wrist exercises right here. That was an eye-opener, but this is like I've dipped it in menthol or something. It's all like cooling, kind of. That's probably not good, so let's just do a couple exercises here. And this wrist is really stiff too. Let's try this one again. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, there's this one, there you go. And I'm going to do these, which curling your fingers in, and then kind of like a scoop. And then one that really, let's see if you can see this a little bit better. There's one that really does it, is this one, kind of scooping up. And I can feel the tendons just creaking. But it feels so good after it starts hurting, you know? Okay, let's try this a little bit more. And that pulls down here. All right. Hey Chris, welcome to the stream. Oops. Whoops. There we go. Not quite. There we go. Maybe not actually. Yeah, let's do that again. Oh. Not so much. I offered to make one of those for you. I still could. Breakfast sandwich. Oh, no. Okay, so this pumpkin is a little bit farther away, so do I really want to add much detail to him? Maybe just a smidge. Maybe just a smidge. Hey Dee, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And this guy is going to be really big. He's kind of going to be just maybe not that awkward. I feel like those giant jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, they start out, you know, firmly on the path to pumpkin silhouettes, but then they kind of reach a point where they're not sure where to grow anymore. And so they get kind of all lumpy and just a little confused. When you're are these days? Good to hear. I feel like they get, you know, like they got a lot more lumps and bumps. And again, this guy is going to be way far in the background, so I don't want to have too much detail on him, and I may actually come in here and silhouette and just fill in his, oh yeah, that looks kind of, I feel like the more areas of fill that I add in, it gets a little spookier, so I'm probably going to have a lot of that in here. Because it's like adding a question mark that you have to fill in yourself. Like what's the detail in that area? I'm not holding your hand. You've got to figure it out for yourself. Like I could do areas of dark in here too, because this is a nighttime, or at least, well, yeah, I would call it night, just after dusk, perhaps. And I'm going to follow this loose ears. Especially with the color scheme I'm going for. We're going to have all the spooky colors. I don't like that. That did not work out how I wanted it to. Let's try this again. I like this half, the right half. I don't like this half, so let's just try that. Okay, that looks bad. Let's come in here and let's try and fix this guy. Maybe it's these two guys. Maybe they need some help. Because I kind of like this little nook in this bush here. Maybe I need to create more of a nook, like more leaves. That's a problem. I have like, when I have to change, when I'm doing like this negative space type deal, changing directions like this and thinking my way around these spaces is a little difficult because I'm always thinking about these larger areas. And so it's like thinking here, here, and here, where are these things going to meet? So like right now I want to add another little bit here. And let's see if I can achieve that. Sort of, but not the best. But still kind of, because it shows this bush just doesn't end in a flat top. It has some shape to it. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that, just for the moment. And I'm gonna fix this guy here. Oh, and these guys, because Illustrator decided to ignore, or my Wacom decided to ignore. There we go. So now that I have that teeny tiny detail ironed out where nobody's going to see it. Alright, now I've got middle ground, foreground, middle ground, foreground, group them together, and let's hit save. So if you're just joining, this is the color scheme I'm thinking about. I feel like I start out wanting to do this type of green and purple kind of spooky nighttime scene. I think only once I've actually sort of kind of done it, but I always seem to slide off into the purples and oranges, which I can't balance well. Last year I did this setup here, which you can see oranges, yellows, and deep like fuchsias. That worked out really pretty. I was super happy with that one, but I still want to give this a try. I haven't quite, I know it's purple, green, and this light green. Those are kind of the highlights to balance off the deep purples. So I just kind of have to think my way around it. Alright, so let's go in here now. I need to add some more areas of, well, let me get the tree. And I'm going to group that because I'm pretty certain I'm going to be pushing this back from this line art. Okay, yeah, no, and these will be, again, it's Halloween, so the trees aren't all bare yet. I could probably bring in elements of this as well, like maybe do a little, like some shadow in here, some shadow in here, and maybe a big bit of shadow here. Oh, it looks like a little I could put that in there. I could do that. That could be fun. All right, this idea has arrived. I must see if I can make it. Okay, again with the, I'm probably gonna have to do this in multiple pieces. Okay. And we don't want that to disappear. That's the first eye. And so I'm drawing from, maybe this is a bush, like a branch section. It's going to kind of go around like this. So I can use that as the eyebrow maybe. All right, there's that. Oh, darn it. I feel like the more that I think I'm not gonna do the jaws, and I just need to follow along with the top of this foreground shrubbery. One that looks nice. Okay. Oh no! Did it again. Alright, so now I need to create that side of the mouth. Darn it, why does it keep on deleting that? I would like to join these two lines. There! Oh. I'm gonna move this up just so it has that line just a little bit more. Maybe bring this guy over just a little bit more. I think it kind of works. I could also come in here, maybe, let's try this with maybe a 30% and kind of just draw along this. It's gonna be... And then I've got the moon, but the moon is behind, so let's just see how this looks to kind of give it a little bit of camouflage. I don't know. I may keep it, I don't know, but I kind of like the idea. He's like Cookie Monster. He's munching cookies. And this still kind of points over here. And if I make it, I'm sorry for the crunching. Send it all the way back. If I make it like, let's say, whoops. Just like subtle like that. That's pushed back there a little bit, and I've got the light shining over here. Cookie Monster, yes. Now let's go for, I'm going to keep this other side in its own group as well, but let's draw it in full so I can see. But I have two pieces. Why am I drawing the same thing? And each time I'm like, no, it doesn't look right, and I erase it, and then I draw it again, the same darn thing. Okay. We gotta draw our scoops, obviously, because I can't scoop today. There we go. Obviously, I cannot scoop from imagination today. And just for reference, what I mean by scooping is like when you look at a fully, you know, lush tree in like the summer, you can kind of see, it almost looks like scoops of ice cream piled on top of each other to me. You see these branches, each branch is bushed out, but they kind of meld into each other. So it's like scoops and scoops of ice cream. And so that's how I think about indicating those branches. Now I don't have to draw all of these scoop lines, but it makes me think about the structure of the tree and the branches, so I'm not drawing, you know, wild things in the middle of nowhere where it wouldn't work, because at least to me, when I see things like that, it kind of makes me pause, because you subtly understand what the shape of a tree should be because you've seen so many trees. So when something looks out of place, you know, it kind of breaks the immersion. To do that. Now I'm drawing this probably too big because this tree is really far off in the distance. So I need to make these details smaller because right now it's kind of looking like a bush. So, okay, here I go again, drawing the same darn thing. Let's just try this. There we go. So here, for example, where I'm imagining these scoops will meet, I might do something like this to indicate these two lines coming together. And then I might do something over here, following those lines, so you can kind of see these shapes are coming together. They're not just that's going to be Gordy and Coconut, so they're probably going to be covering this entire area. So I'm not going to do much here. I'm just going to draw this to the ground. Because they are probably going to be in front of all of this. Now I can erase my guidelines and we have a nice fluffy tree line. And now since I did some of this over here, I want to do something over here. I want to have that back in here for a minute because that can also help me guide where I'll put these pieces of shadow. I think here might be a, let me just map these out. Right here maybe, definitely right here, and then perhaps here. I'm not going to make a face with this one, but I want to do something over here so this doesn't quite stand out quite as much as it is. I want it to be subtle, but a little more subtle than a chainsaw. Just a smidge. I messed up on that one, didn't I? So let's bring this and bring get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. And then I'm going to come through this. And I want to grab maybe my shadow 30%. And we're going to come through here. And this is going to be behind everything again. So I'm going to do one more of these. Again, where I think a scoop would be. So I'm going to scoop, 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 scoop. I like that one. That's a tiny little scoopy scoop. I like that. All right. Now, let's see how this will look. I'm going to jump out a group, and I'm going to, what did I use for you? I did, yeah. Go all the way to the back. Probably need a bigger spot here, maybe this one. I might have to make I might have to make him a little bit less apparent. And the one item I haven't drawn in yet is the moon. But we're going to use a tricksy method for the moon because whenever I draw the moon, I kind of mess it up. So we're just going to do something like this. Do I like that shape? Not really. Make it a little bit bigger. All right. So now I've got something that I can trace. I do want to have my stupid. Okay. Well, my moon method not working. There we go. It needs to be smaller. I'm just gonna leave them like that, maybe. Oh, but I don't like points, so let's just. You're not really. You don't want to work with me, then I'll just do that. Just soften that up a little bit. And I'll use these. And then we're going to smooth it. And now we're doing that, not like that, like that. Nope. I'll deal with that later, but that's about where it should be. I'm glad you enjoy them, Dee. A little moon back there. All right, now I can get to the characters. Oh, you see that little circle that's right by her nose? That is the Velcro cord that keeps my my kitty cam cord when it's not on, and that's what I used to bribe her to get her on that hat, her cat cam. It works. It works. All right, so I had my original pumpkin right here, but I think I'm going to revise it to a smaller pumpkin here. Maybe a smallish pumpkin there, and maybe medium pumpkin there, and then I got my goose. I need to do another pot, maybe. I didn't put up cheeks today, so I don't know why my throat is being so ridiculous. I kind of feel like I should point this the other way. All of these guys are pointing. Look here, look here. Don't look here. Even little wee pumpkin can point that way. Kinda, sorta, kinda, sorta. She's yawning. Maybe we can get a stretch. Oh, big stretch! Look! Oh. That was good. That was good. That was a good one, Beanie. You got 2 paws. I think I need to start disappearing some of these pumpkins into the grass. Because this is nighttime. I'm gonna have lots of shadows. You're not gonna be able to see details like this. So I need to really kind of probably work that into my line art a bit better here. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give this guy a little texture. All right. Okay, so pumpkin, little wee pumpkin right here is next. You can be leaning back, I think. You can be kind of like, whoa. This one looks like maybe he was blown with the wind. I think I'm going to keep his little stem though. So let's just bump this down. Nope. Here we go. Going to just Coco go on a diet and then I'll eat broccoli. Yeah, I think the thing is she's already is on a diet. I could change her food to actual diet food, but what I did was I took out one cup. She used to get 2 cups, and then I think I don't see her eat treats a lot, and the problem is Tuxie is underweight for his, well, he's not underweight, he's just so lean. And he eats a lot of treats. That's where he gets his calories from. So I can't take the treats away because of her, but I never see her eating a lot of them. So I limited the wet food for her I may have to change it to something that is more well, the pâtés usually have the best numbers on them, but she doesn't really eat those. So if I start serving her pâtés, she lose weight because she doesn't eat it. So that's a problem. I just have to find something that she actually likes that isn't ridiculous. And the one I have is not the worst, not the best, but she eats it, and it takes her a whole day to get through it. So maybe the answer is just in a little bit more play. This kind of looks like a butt, so I always am worried that when I draw pumpkins, I'm just drawing butts. So let's try and de-butt this pumpkin a little bit. Let's go into this one. I'm drawing the stems so much though. This can be one of those gourds. And it's going to be like around, oh, you can't see that color. I don't remember what they're called, but they're these greenish pumpkin gourd things that they all kind of have that type of a shape. This one can be a squishy one of those. You got squished. And here's a little. And fade some detail here into the shadow, kind of break it up a little bit. A bit spotty. And now I think, whoops, I think I can go into my middle ground and work on these guys now. I could do some mushrooms. Could do some mushrooms over here. Big old shroomies. No, funny thing, I tried to save, I've got some succulents and one of them was kind of sputtering out. He still had a few little green leafy bits, and then it looked like the core was still trying to, it was one of those that's like, not like a jade plant, but like this. There's those really fleshy leaves. I forget what name that one is. But so like I had 3 or 4 of these, and the core was kind of like right here, but he looked like he was still like partially living. So I picked that piece that had those leafy bits and the base, and tried to transplant it into its own pot. And I succeeded in germinating a bunch of mushrooms somehow. I guess there are some mushroom spores that was in that soil already, but I think I managed to save it because it has like tiny little baby leaves growing out of the core bit. And I think those big fleshy leaves are just going to serve to collect the sunlight for this little guy to grow. And eventually I think I'll lose all of these, but I think I managed to save that one. And I also took one of the detached leaves, and I'm not sure how to propagate from one of those, so I just did an experiment and buried it. And I put 2 little saran little shower caps over the top. And it was very interesting to see these 2 pots, the exact same circumstances. The one that had the successful germination, this soil in here was still very warm. It was like almost like heat was being produced here. And this one that I think I failed on with the one that was buried underneath was just very dry and dead. And it was same circumstances, same watering, same little, shower cap over it to keep the moisture in. But it was just, I kind of hadn't really experienced that before because I hadn't really tried to germinate something and propagate a plant like that where I could observe what was happening right in front of me day by day because it's right there. I just thought that was an interesting difference and an example of a successful transfer versus an unsuccessful. Well, I can't say it's unsuccessful yet because it could still just be putting down its little roots. But if the other one is anything to go by, it probably was not successful because those little baby leaves, they grew quick. I mean, maybe 3 days for those little ones to sprout. If anybody has experience in plant propagation, please sound off, especially succulents, because I've got several different kinds and I've seen people do it. They're like, ooh, they got all these little baby succulent leaves for free and now they've got 50 bazillion succulent plants in their house, and tried to do what they did, but it doesn't look like it's working, so I obviously did something wrong. My aloe plants worked very well. And that's another thing. That's why the aloe plants are different. I have the hardest time with succulents, I think in part because of the water here. Is it really hard water or something? Well, mine probably have a tough time because it's city water. But see, the aloes, I have this big aloe plant that he's just massive, and he puts out all of these pups. So and they're, the first time I did it, I put kind of like a survey up on Instagram to ask any of the plant, parents out there that have done this before what to do. And this one lady, oh God, it was like she was doing surgery on the plant. She depotted them, she took out all the pups, repotted them, and I'm like, if I do that, the whole thing is dead. So what I did was I just very carefully dug pretty deep under the base of the pup where it was coming out of the soil, and I took some of that root that was coming out of the main plant, and all of those pups have survived and thrived that I did that to, even tiny little like 2 shoot bits, but they still had a root that was, I still worked with. These guys don't have any root. Water's so hard, a number of pipes in our apartment building have had to be replaced because of the hard water. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think plants might spit that out. I'm like, what the heck are you giving me? Well, that's going to be difficult. I can't have that much of a brim. Oh, I kind of like that. Oh, wait a minute here. That's nice. So all I need to do here is make this a little less pointy and try not to mess up the entirety of this. Because I kind of like how it's scooping up. Maybe I'll just shoot doop right there. Maybe I'll just make that 60%. All right. And now let's give the cut where her ear comes through. Delete that. And I need a body line. So she's going to be this way, and I think her body is not quite where it needs to be, so let's redo this. There we go. Now I've got a little bit more gesture. I can't like something like that. Just a little bit more. Now I'm going to draw her feet in here, but she is going to be behind this hill, so I'm just kind of drawing her in midair right now, so I can get her on the page. Ooh, that's a little bit too big. She's reaching for who to say hello. So I don't need these body lines anymore, and I don't need practically anything I drew up on her head either. So let's get this out of here. Let's Not erase too much this time. And now I need to erase her right here. Go. No, erase. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. And now let's give her the little witchy hat bit. Like maybe here. Oh, no. Here we go. Oh. Why does this still look so weird? It's because her forehead stripe was floating. And it won't be seen there either. And I need to erase this bit here. There we go. All right. Oh, she needs a tail. Go. Boop. Shoot. Well, if you're going to do it that way, you may as well go all in. There we go. That looks weird. Now I can position her. Maybe she won't be completely behind, or I could just keep her right there. See, this is why I draw everything, because I don't always have a set idea of where these characters are going to sit. Group. And then this is going to be Blue's arm. Just a little touch on the footers. Blue's legs are a little Tina Turner today. We need to make them a little smaller, shorter. Blue has beautiful, graceful legs, but not that much. Okay, I do think I want to put in those mushies. But yeah, my whole story about succulents was because of those mushrooms. And this was only in the one that sprouted and actually was successful. It has like these tiny little, just little guys going everywhere. Hilarious, but I think they die pretty quickly, if I remember right, because I've seen them growing in other stuff outside. So I'm just gonna leave them and let them be fertilizer. Because I think that, I definitely think those new succulents will need it. But I can stand to do a few more little, few there, below in there. I'm gonna have the ghosties here, so maybe I'll just do a small set here that are kind of like, whoa, they're leaning way back. So next is going to be Coco and Gordy. And she's going to be smaller than this, I think. A little thin line here. Oh, it's alright. I'll deal with it. Let's just group Cocoa Bean. Tail. Why am I... She's gonna have a cape on. I kind of like this because I can see the hat kind of going down and in, kind of scooping up almost like a pirate's hat. And then her little whiskies curling up around. Oh. Just that. I need to figure out where. this so long. Is her ear... Ah, grabbed a whisker. There we go. There we go. Much better. Go. There we go, and let's push her little eye over a tiny smidgy bit. And then I need to angle her whiskies. I want them to go the angle of the hat. Well, I don't think I've forgotten any details. That's Coco done, and now let's figure out Gordy. You know what, that's fine. She can blend into the liner of the road, and I'll just make sure to push her group behind all of that. Still not sure what I'm going to do with. And then Gordy has 3 bumps. I believe I need to make this bump a little. Maybe you're looking this way. So you need to work with me here, Gordo. You need to tilt your head up. And you need to be a bit smaller, because I don't think Gordy is that much bigger than Coconut. And his little stem. This. I'm going to be looking over there. That eye a little wider. Like, wow, he has stick legs just like me. Okay, I'm gonna give you feet. point, maybe. Oh. Little fingers are not quite where they should be. Let's just do a loop. Give him more of a thumb. There we go. Gordy hasn't been skipping arm day. Oh, I can't do that to him. There we go. Okay, why is his arm looking so weird now? That's better. Probably because the arm is like curving around the edge of his pumpkin belly. Let's see if I can make this one better. Looks a little bit better because there's foreshortening because it's like wrapping around, so you're really only seeing like this, like that. There we go. Maybe. Done. So we've got Coco, Gordy, Boo. I need to draw these guys. We'll do a save since I haven't done a save in a while. Alright, so dancing floofy ghosts. And then some mushies. We need to actually get into my group here. Mid-ground. Alright, characters are all grouped. Grouped. Alright. So now I'm going to do my dancing floofs. I think I'll just draw the floofs and draw the ghosty costumes on top of them. I feel like I've done ghosty floofs a couple of different ways, and I seem to have started to add the whiskers on top of the ghost cover. The outer shape of this is correct and good because I have just the mouth and the eyes are going to be on top of the costume. Oh, I can probably through. Add one more pole line, maybe. Okay. I think I'm going to do a little trick here too. Right. Floof numero uno is done. Okay. Welcome to the stream. I will probably be about 10-ish more minutes. I've got this floof to draw, and then I probably will draw these mushrooms. I just re-upped Coconut's heater. Let me zoom out. So this is the line art I'm looking at. I'm just about to draw this other floofy ghost, and then I've got to finish those. And this is the color scheme I'm looking at. I'm really wanting to do kind of a spooky purple and green, and kind of some like up here like this. Not sure how I'll do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. So I try almost every year. I come in with, I want to do this color scheme. Alright, now second floofy ghost. So you need to be a little bit taller and closer to this guy. Gesture right, because you're both dancing. And this one is a little bit more flamboyant with the leg. Leg is out. There we go. What? There we go. Ah. For some reason, I jumped out of my group. No. I don't think that loose foot is quite right. Doing a really big dip. There we go. Alright. Out of this group, those guys are there. We're in front, so when I color inside pretty much my groups, so I can move all of these guys around if I need to. And then the middle ground, of course, is going to be in its own group. Foreground over here, these big guys, is also going to be in its own group, so I can easily layer and pop them one in front of the other. Same thing with this background here. I'm going to make sure that that is layered correctly. And I'm also going to apply some, probably a lighter, more desaturated line art to it. I'll go ahead and group these guys together just to make it easier. Okay, go there. Actually, he's kind of cute. He doesn't need much. I just probably need to give him a little detail here and maybe just block in that stem. Now these guys are also pretty cute as they are, but I just need to give them probably more of a stem here. So I like the shape, but I need to make this a little those guys are good. And let's see, what else do we need? Oh, I got one right there. A little wee one. I think I may have done too much there. Tiny, tiny, teeny, tiny little bit. All right, out we go. Get rid of my rough sketches in this level. Oh, I guess that was, I don't know what that was, but we need to get rid of those. And I need to get rid of this, which I can't seem to pick up. And any other rough sketch lines? I don't think so. Let's move the main rough sketch out. There we go. Here we are on the line art of this one. Hey! Ah, there we go. Not so bad. So again, I have the, oh gosh. Now, okay, so this guy is eating this over here, but now I think like this is just two eyeballs and he's like eyeing that pumpkin. So the pumpkin's right here and his face is just kind of rising up over. That's kind of what that looks like to me now. I'll keep it subtle so that is just hopefully not taking away from these guys. If I have to back it down more, I will. He may be a little bit too... I might have to pull that back to... I'll figure it out. But yeah, so each of these guys is going to be on their own. I suspect I might grab this line art just along the edge of the hill, make it a slight touch different than this most forward line art. I might draw the edge about mid canvas right here. So everything this way will be full contrast, and then this to create that little bit of distance might be a little less, and then of course the far is going to be the least contrast, I think. And then we're going to try for our spooky green and purple as a color scheme. I'm already thinking that I'll do like maybe a mist going up behind the hill, just a light green mist, and then the light will be, the highlights will be over here. I'm gonna try and keep it balanced. But yeah, I think that'll be it for me today. So, I'm not sure if I'll get this finished coloring tonight. If I don't, I will definitely make, I'll definitely drop full white objects into these characters, so it's almost like a coloring page. I sometimes will do that with the ones that I don't complete coloring. But yeah, that could be cute as a coloring page too. I could just, yeah, why don't I do that and just release it as a coloring page? That could be really fun. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will be back on Thursday with comics. I'm going to start making, so I started the Halloween season comics on last Thursday, and I'm going to continue that this Thursday, and I believe Halloween falls on next Friday, so that'll be perfect timing for the Halloween comic, brand new Halloween comic for next Friday. I'm going to do work on one this weekend for Tuesday, trying to get that double schedule back, but it's just been so nice not having to do that on Monday. Maybe I can get back to that if I spread it out over the weekend a little bit and not have like everything on Monday for the Tuesday comic. But yeah, we'll see. Let me go over to my ending screen here. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me again. Dee, Catherine, Sharon, Chris, my lurkers. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I shall see you next time.